Welcome back. Today we're going to deal with a type of food that is perhaps underutilized. Hopefully you'll find this very interesting. These are winter squash. 3 different kinds. This butternut squash is a very versatile fruit. It's entirely plant. It is a whole food, so if somebody is pursuing a whole food, plant-based eating plan and they want to get the benefits of that approach to eating, or if someone's on a Mediterranean diet, which is very similar, then think about winter squash. Winter squash and summer squash are different. They taste different. They're prepared differently. These are winter squash. So this is the butternut. This is commonly used roasted. You can put any number of seasonings on it. It's also used to make soups, and a butternut soup is fabulous. We're not going to make that today. We're not even going to cut up the butternut today. But butternut is a fine winter squash, and we eat a lot of it. This is an acorn squash. Acorn squash is interesting. You have to peel a butternut squash. You can't eat the skin. It won't work. This, you can eat the skin. Some people do, some people don't. It's common for people to cut off the end, split it, and cook it in a cup shape or stuffed with other vegetables. And then when you eat it out of the skin, leaving the skin behind. That's fine. Acorn squash. These are called Delicata squash. And this is our subject matter today. Delicata squash, or winter squash, depending upon the part of the season and your good or bad fortune, they may be very sweet or they may be savory. And you have to deal with that. So with these, you don't really know what you're getting. That kind of variation is less common with the butternuts and the acorns. These could be very sweet or they could be savory. To prepare them, I'm going to give them a rinse at the sink. Basically, I just don't want any dirt on them. These are organic. They were purchased from an organic source, so they have no pesticides on them. So we're just making sure there's no dirt. So I'm heating up the oven right now. I'm heating it up to 400 degrees. I want them to brown around the edges and cook in a reasonable period of time without drying out. So 400 degrees in this particular oven works great. So a nice sharp knife. So these are the seeds. This inside of the squash is not really edible. It has the seeds. Now, I do know people who will collect these seeds and rinse them off and roast them. I've not been doing that. So these are being removed by a spoon. This funny little device, if you can see it, is actually called a melon baller, but it is very useful for removing the seeds from the winter squash. Okay, now it's your choice. You can start making decisions. So at this point, many people would just put it right on the pan, just like that. So that is our pan ready to go into the oven, preheated. You can have it in the semicircles. You could have it into the chunks. Years ago, I would put this in a bowl and put some olive oil on it and put some salt on it and put garlic powder on it. And it comes out different, but that's a matter of choice, personal preference. I would prefer to avoid the oil and avoid the salt. So I roast these, and my rationale is it lets the food, the flavor of the food come out and not just be a carrier substance for salt and fat. So this is going to go into the oven. It's going to take, it doesn't take very long. It's going to take 20 to 25 minutes in this oven. And what we'll see at the end is that the edges will be starting to brown and crisp. If I do it badly, it will burn, of course. So I'll try to keep an eye on it. So we're gonna cook this at 400 degrees for about 20 to 25 minutes and check on it. And when it's done, we'll show you the end result. And as usual, I'll speed up the video so you don't have to sit there and watch this slow part of the process. So in the oven. So now we will take it out of the oven. They're done. Hopefully you can see this. It's all done. The edges are crisp, but it's not all dried out. So that is the finished product. And it can be served like this, straight onto the plate. Or again, it can be chilled for either reheating or eat it cold. People, when they serve winter squash, sometimes add spice. Pumpkin spice mix goes well with this. Some people have put honey on it. I have no objection, I didn't. Maple syrup is widely used for this, and some people put some salt on it. None of that did I do, but this is my version of Delicata squash. And the reason I like it is it is quite delicious. The meaty part of it is soft, and then the skin is crisp. That's a nice combination. It's a nice texture for the food. So this will be part of our dinner. Okay, and so we'll see you back next time. We have lots of videos that are centered here in the kitchen. Others are centered in the studio. Others yet will be walking, showing you things in the area. We have videos in San Francisco. Hopefully you'll find these interesting and useful. See you next time.